Nick speaking, and welcome to this live stream. And if you're new to the channel and you want to keep up to date with the Wonders of Warhammer 40k, then please subscribe and hit the bell button to turn on all notifications so you don't miss a thing. Good evening and welcome to this week's live stream where we're going to be talking about cheating in Warhammer 40k. Hopefully, this should be a fun and interesting topic. Right, as people are arriving for the chat, I will do a little update for you. So, previously, in the last live stream, I mentioned about changing my schedule. And I have to say, I've been very happy with this change. In actual fact, I've taken that one step further. I'm not actually going to always upload at 7 o'clock in the morning. I'm going to vary that a bit as well. So it's definitely worth hitting the bell button if you want to keep on top of what I'm doing. I've got premieres coming up. I'm going to be doing live streaming, my normal videos, and they're not always going to be on the same day at the same time. So like I said, hit that bell button. Right, let's have a quick look at the chat. So we do have people in. We've got Nerdopolis Prime. Hello there. Oh, you've come over from Frost and Fist. I did check a little bit of that stream out while I was preparing. So has anyone noticed? Hopefully the video quality should be a lot better. I have now got a new webcam. So it's a HD webcam, the Logitech 920, I think it is. It seems to be much better than the previous one. I've also got a very long Ethernet cable, which is running all the way into the other room. Hence, I'm back in the hobby room, but I am now connected to the Wi-Fi via a lead. So hopefully we won't get too many interruptions. Hello, Feral Strike. Welcome to the chat. We've also got DJ Demo. He says, cheaters are terrible. We will be talking about that soon. Still not very HD. YouTube running on 720 max. Well, it's supposed to be 1080, but maybe it's catch up. Hopefully, it's a bit better than what it was anyway, at least. So before we get on with it, let's just mention my usual stuff. So if you are on Facebook, then check us out, the IDICBeer Wargamers Unification Facebook group. We'd love to have you on there. And I've never said this before on my YouTube channel, but I also have an Instagram page, whatever it's called. So I am on Instagram. I do post on there fairly regularly, probably about 3 times a week. Sometimes hobby updates. So if you want to see that, check me out there, IDICBeer40k. And if you're enjoying the stream so far, I'd really appreciate a like on this stream. And if you are able to share it, that would be really useful as well. You can press the share button underneath the video, share it on Facebook or YouTube, not YouTube, Facebook or Twitter, etc. I'd really appreciate that. So I'm assembling an Eldar. Oh no, so is assembling a Eldar lying down cheating. We'll discuss that in a minute. That probably will be on the topic. So I'm still looking at my little list of stuff. So before we get straight onto the topic, I'm going to do a quick channel update. So first of all, the Noise Marines. Let's test this camera out. I've been painting the Noise Marines, as always. I've now finished the gold, the silver, and the bone colour. I've got one model here. Morning, Russ. I've got one model. There's no bone on this one, actually, but anyway, you'll be able to see the gold and silver, hopefully. Now, how do the professionals do this? There we go. Hopefully, focus. Yes. It's not going to focus, is it? It was focusing earlier when I was testing it. There you go. Better than the other camera, anyway. So, Noise Marines are coming along quite nicely. Here you cannot select 1080. Okay. Well, I'll have to look into that maybe next time. I had to go through some of my old videos because I did get, funny enough, before I say that, this video has got demonetized before the stream even started. I think it's the title, obviously. Apparently it's not advertiser friendly. So that was I thought that was quite funny. But yeah, I also got a couple of what's it called? Demonetization notifications, copyright notifications, that's the word I'm looking for, on some of my very, very old videos. I mean, the videos I did like 9 years ago, because I did use a little bit of Star Trek music in there. So I went in, it wasn't a copyright strike or anything, they just wanted to basically say, yeah, we know you're using the music and we're going to take money from it. So I went in and I clipped those videos at the front and the back where I had the music. I just chopped them off basically. I got 2 notifications on 2 videos, so I went through. I think it was about 20 videos, and I just clipped the music off. So I did that. That took me a couple of hours to do, but it was worth it, especially with Article 13 coming up very soon. I didn't really want to risk anything. I'm playing Richard next week on a Wednesday, and I'm going to be using my new Anrakur list, so that'll be a lot of fun. We also are going to be doing another video, which, if you keep an eye out on my community tab tomorrow, I'm going to be posting about that. Article 13 thing is ridiculous. I'm screwed. Yeah, I might make an actual whole video on the subject at some point. But today we are talking about 40k cheaters. So the reason why I'm doing this topic is basically I received an email asking to do the topic, which I'm just about to read you, and then we'll have a discussion from there. But if you have a topic that you would like me to discuss, either on a live stream or potentially in a video, then let me know. Just put a comment in the comments box, or if you just want to email me, you can do that. IDICBeer@gmail.com. I'd love to hear from you. Right, today, let's have a quick read. Let's find out who's in the chat. We've got Dave Dog, he is in, says, your videos, Nick, are so family friendly. Disney could advertise Dumbo or Snow White and reach the right target audience. Thank you. Yes, I do try to be squeaky clean. We have Ice Wolfink, who's laughing at Dave's comments. Necrons! We've got a Necrons in the house. Okay, so this is the email that I received. It's from Terry Comer, one of my subscribers, of course, who also has a channel called Castman, where he entered my Terrain Square competition because he has entry on there. And he says, good morning, Nick. I just wanted to drop you a message to suggest a topic for a possible future video, cheating in Warhammer 40k. As I'm expanding the circles that I've been playing 40k in, I've had an opportunity to play with a lot of new players. I've also gotten to see more people cheating, which is a sad thing. Could you touch on this topic? Examples, why people cheat, types of cheating, what do you do when you catch someone cheating? Here are the things I've seen players do. Lie on points value of their army, deliberately lie on the rules of their units or from the rulebook / FAQ, secretly move their models during their opponent's turn to get them in and out of range, accidentally bump the table so miniatures fall off. Let's hope they're not finecast ones, so they can slightly put them back to their advantage. Lie on dice rolls, change dice rolls, and modeling to advantage. He then says, I know this is a tough topic to address. As I said, it's just a suggestion. We all like to think everyone in this hobby are decent people and play to have fun. However, in the past 6 months of my re-entry into 40k, I've seen or heard of other players being less than honourable. Thank you in advance for your time and consideration. Keep up the awesome videos. Yours, Terry Comer. Thank you, Terry, for the email. And it was great topic, and that's why we're doing this video, because I thought it was well worthy of a video. So the first thing I want to touch on is your last paragraph, because you're absolutely right. That is very sad to hear. And it brings me to the first point that I want to talk about, really, and that is my experience when I first got into the hobby. Because I have a funny feeling that ultimately there could be a lot more to this cheating thing. It could well be having a bad teacher rather than you're actually cheating. So in other words, it could be the circle that you've been brought up playing the game and how people play the game. Now, I was introduced to the hobby by a work colleague. I was 30 at the time. I think he was 18, and he introduced me to the hobby. And I can tell you now, I couldn't have had a better teacher to play this awesome game of ours. He was fantastic. He was very helpful in like me learning my army and the rules of the game. He never did anything that gave him an advantage. If anything, I would say he always did stuff to give him the disadvantage. You know, if I forget a rule, he'd always tell me that I forgot the rule. He'd always advise me on where to go when I was unsure in those early days. And he basically just played the game really honestly. And I think that's where I've grown up. I learned the game in that manner. So I'm wondering, if you learned the game in a different environment, would that have an impact on how you play the game, or is it built into you? So I decided to go a bit further and actually Google it, which I'll talk about in a second. Let's have a quick look in the chat. What do you think of the Void Dragon? I think it's awesome, Catan. Yeah, I've made a little conversion of one already. Dave, he missed the trick with the nano wire and blue tack on the base of the minis, so you can invisibly pull them along. We have Frost and Fists in the house. I once had someone tell me that every unit in their army had a 3+ reanimation protocol. Oh, they'd never do that, would they? So I went to Google and I typed in, can't remember what I typed in, but basically, yeah, I think I just typed in basically why do people cheat at games? And I couldn't find anything pretty much apart from actual gaming more than board games. However, I did come across a scientific study of board games where they did 4 board game tests, basically talking about cheating and dice throws. It was about dice throwing. And this was the highlights of this big study. It was quite a big study, actually. This is the highlights, which I've just written down here. I thought I'd read out today. So he says, if one of your buddies tend to win in board game nights and has some epic leaderboard scores, watch out for that guy. I'm not saying he could be a cheater, but science is. It turns out that winners are more likely to cheat at games than people who lose. Ultimately, they feel they deserve to win against other competitors. When success is measured by social comparison, as is the case when winning a competition, and by such a comparison, I mean to the feeling that I'm better than the rest, I learned that the potential for dishonesty increases and we have overclaimed dice rolls. People played random lottery and trivial tests. Participants did not overclaim their dice rolls after those tests. The way in which people measure success affects their honesty. I think that our findings just tell this story that the participants felt more deserving than others and felt better as a consequence. And if they feel more deserving and have an opportunity to cheat, then they will cheat. My advice to those who want to avoid the slippery slope of jerkdom: if they want to play fair, they should focus on the goal rather than being better than their opponent. So that was the case study. So basically, what they're saying is, if you're competing to be better than someone else, you've got more chance of potentially cheating than if you're just basically playing for yourself or just playing to better yourself. I thought it was quite an interesting study. Any thoughts in the chat room regarding that study? So on my list here, I've got types of cheating, which is something which I believe, yeah, types of cheating in Terry's email. So I think pretty much what you've written there, Terry, is a good amount of cheating. I've seen a few others in my time. One being the bendy tape measure. Going back to my buddy that taught me how to play the game, he had another friend who wasn't quite the same, let's say. Now, I only had the pleasure of playing him once. I'll always remember it. I was playing Necrons, of course, and he was playing Imperial Guard. And I remember I had my monolith, and I was hiding some units behind the monolith, and he was shooting me behind the monolith with a bendy ruler. So he goes tape measure and basically sort of bent it round. He goes, yeah, that's, I can see it straight. Look. I was warned about this guy before the game, so basically I let him get away with it. Just carried on effectively. I did lose that game, but he was clearly cheating. And the only other thing really I could think of was microwave dice. You haven't mentioned that. I've heard of it. I think it was Wargamer Fritz that brought it to my attention, that you could microwave your dice to make them roll in a certain way. Now, I don't actually know which way you microwave them, if you microwave the 6-up or the 1-up for it to work. I've obviously never done it. But yeah, microwaving dice is another one. So you've mentioned on here, lie about the points value of their army. When I first started playing, we used to play the 3-point rule. So you could be up to 3 points above your army list. So if it was, say, 1,500 points, we made it, you could play 1,503. However, in all of the time that I've played 40k, since 2001, I've never checked the points of my opponent's list. Just turn up, they put their army down. Even if they've got the list, I hardly look at it. I just say, well, just tell me what you've got when you've got your army out. So maybe people have been cheating on me all this time and I didn't realise it. But I don't know. I'm probably just too trustworthy. But yeah, I definitely don't get the calculator up. So let me just check your list. Delivery lie on the rules. Again, I've never had a deliberate lie. I've had someone get confused with the rules. I don't think I've even come across someone who's bent the rules to their advantage. I think they've either misunderstood the rule or they read the rule in a different way. But yeah, the rules is definitely something. And you've mentioned obviously the FAQs as well, where, I mean, nowadays we've got so many materials for the rules that it is hard to keep on top of them. I mean, my buddy came round last night and we played. I was looking for the latest FAQ. I've got this shelf where I've got all my army lists and stuff, and came across like 3 sets of FAQs, trying to work out which was the current one. I did work it out, and I binned all the old ones. But it is a minefield when it comes to rules. Accidentally bump the table. I've never seen that. That's a terrible thing to do, isn't it? Bump the table just to try and get your models to fall over or potentially fall on the floor just so you can reposition them. That sounds a bit dodgy. Gene says loaded dice or modified dice. Yeah, they do roll funny though, don't they? Those dice. My buddy's got some like dice that rolls on. They roll 6s. He doesn't use them in the game. This is just like a fun thing. But you can see them and you roll them, and they roll weird. I've heard of somebody proved that the Earth was flat. 340k sounds like cheating. That's not cheating. What else did you say? So yeah, accidentally bumped the table. Lie on dice rolls. I don't think I've ever seen that. I've had people, and I've done it myself, where you miss a dice, but that's where you have the dice rolling etiquette of basically taking your misses away and leaving the hits on the table and confirming with your opponent, basically, you're happy with that before you pick them up. Any good dice etiquette, and of course roll where your opponent can see them. But yeah, I mean, sometimes you do miss a dice. That's why you don't want to go too quick, do you? Play every game with a new set of dice. Certainly at tournaments, they probably should just supply you with dice. Changing dice rolls and modelling to an advantage. Modelling to an advantage. Cheating. Or is it cheating? Or is it just using the rules to your advantage? Let's bring up a comment that I had, which I posted before the live show went up, from Richard Morgan, which is Capitan Morgan's Wargames, who's out tonight. But he asked me, I have one for you tonight because I'm not sure I'll make it. Is using the written or spoken language of the rules as they are written or spoken to gain an advantage that may not have been intended cheating or just being clever? Which sort of comes into that category of modelling to an advantage. I think that ultimately it's a fine line in some cases with some things. Seen rubber dice. Aren't we given innate cheaters ideas? I think they know all the ideas already. I would imagine they've got cheats that we've never even heard of. Being clever, yeah. I think the fine line is that if I had a model which I'd converted for whatever reason, let's say just I've made it lower so that it can go behind a piece of terrain, okay? And then I play someone who says, I'm not really happy with that, that should be X amount of tall, I should be able to shoot that behind that piece of terrain. Now for me, this is where it turns around into whether you're going to cheat or not. Because if I was playing and I'd done that, somebody picked me up on it, I would say, fair enough, fair point. It is supposed to be higher. You probably will be able to see me. Let's just say you can shoot me. However, if I say, well, no, it's like that, you can't see it, you can't shoot at it, then potentially you would go in the realms of cheating, if that makes sense. And I suppose that's the same with Richard's comment here, to some degree, with the rules as written. Sometimes it's just pretty obvious that Games Workshop got it wrong. They didn't mean what they'd written, and most people would probably try to play it to their advantage. But if someone picks them up on it, will come back on it basically and say, well, okay, then let's play it your way. So I think there definitely is a fine line. So what do you do when you catch people cheating? That's what we're going to talk about next. First of all, though, if you're new to the live stream, then my name is Nick. Welcome. If you haven't subscribed yet, then please do so. Hit the bell button to keep up with all of my notifications. Right, in the chat, we've got Gothead420. Hello there. He says, when playing Necrons, all the other rules of other armies feel like cheating anyway. Oddsteiner, he says, I have a lot of converted models. Well, absolutely, and why not? I'd rather risk losing a game than be labelled a cheater. Absolutely. Hello, Germany. Big Rich is in the house. He says, hi all. Hello, Big Rich. Peter Nicholas, he says, Games Workshop are always changing the rules that are being used as written to an unfair advantage. We also have Harrison Sharp in the house. He says, ban the squig dice, hate the bouncy things. So, I think I will actually bring up one thing I've seen. I've seen people have their lucky dice, which they feel roll better or worse, depending on what they want to roll, and they use that particular dice. Let's say if they want the game to end, and they'll use that particular dice because, from as far as they're concerned, those dice roll low on average. Now, I don't think that's a form of cheating. I actually think that's dice psychology, because we all have our lucky dice, the lucky colour. So if I'm playing Necrons, I want to have green dice, or at least some green on there. So I have seen that, though, where people have certain dice, like certain leadership checking dice, because they think, oh, they roll low. Now, that's not necessarily cheating, unless they have dodgy dice, of course. But if it's just the dice luck, then it obviously is not cheating. I just have green dice. Green dice are the best, especially if you play Necrons. I have good one. I refuse to play known cheaters again. Yeah. So let's have a look. We've got what we're talking about. Oh yes, what to do if you catch someone cheating. I'm definitely going to refer to my notes here, because I actually made these notes a week ago. So, right. So you have a few choices if you catch someone cheating, but it really does depend on the situation. So it could depend on whether you're playing friends, if it's a competitive game, maybe just a pickup game. Now, first of all, I think what you have to seriously consider, although it may look like they're cheating, have they actually cheated? It could be just a genuine mistake, something they haven't realised. I've played games. I played old Average Bricked Gaming, and I totally messed up on my points. It was the first time I played Tomb Blades, and I priced the Tomb Blades with just one gun rather than two guns. So I was playing basically more points. I forgot to shoot two guns, only shot one gun, so I didn't actually use the gun, but still, I made a mistake. But it was a genuine mistake, so I wasn't necessarily cheating. Now, Nick could have looked at my list and you'd gone, cheat. So sorry, I've just got something which I have to authorize a comment there. Right, done that. So first of all, you need to establish, do you think they are really actually cheating, or is it just a mistake? Now, if you do think they are cheating, I think ultimately the first thing you should do is talk to them about it. So if it's a rule dispute, for example, if they do something and you think, and let's just say they move, let's just say they move and you think, my God, that was a big 12 inches. Then you could just say, oh, do you mind if I check that? And get your tape measure out and just check it. There's nothing wrong with querying something, but you need to do it obviously in a nice way and not necessarily at the time that it happens. Could be a little bit later. That's what she said. But ultimately, the best thing to do really is to approach the person, especially if it's a rules query. I mean, if you think they're using loaded dice, for example, you probably will have to be very careful when you approach them, if you are going to approach them. Sometimes it's best to let them get away with it almost for that one game, and then probably just never play them again, which I think we've had comments on that in the stream. If you know someone's cheating, just don't play them again. I'm really thirsty tonight. Now, of course, if it's a competitive environment and you've got a tournament organizer, well, of course, you can bring someone in, can't you, to double check it, and their word is final. And there's also that fine line of disputing too much as well. If you've got an outright cheater who's not just cheating with one thing, like one rule or whatever, if they're cheating quite a lot, they're doing lots of bad things during the game, like rolling the dice, where you can't see them, dodgy moves, dodgy rules. You probably don't want to keep interrupting them all the time. If that was me, I'd just play the game out, just so, fair enough, just have the game. I'm not going to play you again. If you need to win like that, then win, because you're not a winner. Anyone who cheats isn't a winner, are they? Let's face it. If you know someone is cheating, just draw your turn out of the ridiculous length of time for the lols. Yeah, I haven't tried that one. That's an interesting one. Yeah. Okay, so the other thing which sometimes I do, because I know my buddy isn't cheating, but sometimes I think, is that rule right? Now, you could query it in the game. You could be slowing the game down, and you could be wrong. So sometimes what I would do is I'll remember the query, and then after the game, I'll look it up, look the rule up, and get my opinion of that rule and how he played it. Possibly go online and see how others are playing it. And then the next time you play, before you start the game, you could say, oh, you remember that thing you did last week, with this blah, blah. Yeah, I don't think that's quite right. This is how I read it. What do you think? And then, you just basically just in a friendly manner, just approach that. And we all get things wrong, don't we? We all read things backwards and inside out and misunderstand things. And some of us are better at English and understanding what things say as well than others. So there's lots of things to it. So it's be very careful to point your finger and say, oh, you're cheating, because that's not always the case. And I think that rule is good for anything in life. I mean, sometimes I'll get comments on a YouTube video where when I read the comments, it seems like I'm being trolled, seems like a really nasty comment. And then I'll reply to that in a friendly manner. And then I maybe, not always, but then I might get a comment back saying, oh, I didn't like, I didn't mean it like that, I meant this, you know. And so things aren't always as they seem. Sometimes it could be, you know, they've made their comments in English, but English may not be their first language, it might be their second language or third language. So the words don't necessarily come out how they think things come out. So it's very quick to judge people, but you need to just think a little bit harder before you speak. In some cases, obviously, in other cases, it can be incredibly clear that someone is, in this instance, cheating. Not jumping to conclusions, that's a good thing. Yeah, absolutely, definitely. Take a mental note and then you investigate after the game unless it's glaringly obvious. Yeah, that's exactly, especially if it's a buddy that you play, you know, especially if you play them week in, week out. Are they cheating? I believe it's easy to see if an opponent is playing in or out of the spirit of the game. Yeah, sometimes it is, but you can play out of the spirit of the game, but not necessarily cheat even, can't you? I think it's about, I think people can potentially cheat on you, but you can still enjoy the game. And the biggest, most best way to deal with a cheater, win the game even when they're cheating. It can't get any better than that, can it? Use your tactics, use what you know, win fairly. They've cheated and they've lost. You could, of course, play them at their own game. And potentially, this is where I was coming from. I don't know if it made too much sense. Right at the beginning of the video, when I was talking about it depends on how you grow up, that environment. Some people probably get taught by someone who's not a great teacher, someone who maybe takes things to the extreme with the rules, potentially cheats. And if you're that in that environment, that cheating could become the norm. It's what everyone does. It's a level field. Can I get a beer with that? Well, I do have a beer in the fridge, but yeah, I'm on coffee at the moment. I do have this though as well. Lemon and lime water. The Cobra Kai of Wargaming. Oh yes, they've just announced season 3 is happening, 2020. Yes. Cobra Kai, never die. So I've done that bit. So I think ultimately, of course, everyone handles cheaters differently. So I'm going to hand it over to you guys in the chat box. Let's talk a bit more about this. Cheating. What do you guys think? What do you think? What is the best way to handle a cheater? I'm going to check the email, make sure I've covered everything. Let's just make sure. Types of cheating, what to do when you catch someone cheating, why people cheat. Yeah, I think we've covered everything. I did have another comment on a Facebook post that I did when I was talking about going live tonight. It was from AJ Macru, and he says, the best one I ever saw was a guy who took the old ordnance bombardment to support his Grey Knights. He rolled scatter. Then he placed the template over the squad. For those having difficulty picturing such a bizarre and brazen cheatery, he'd literally rolled out the dice, took them over and say something like, oh, sorry, mate, but it looks like that's placed right about there. After gesturing vaguely at the board, it just sits the big blast template smack in the middle of the squad. I was absolutely stunned, politely pointed out that that's not how scattering works. And he just said, does for Grey Knights. Now, they were quite a new army, and I was worried. I was perhaps hallucinating. So I said, oh wow, that's pretty powerful. Can I see the rule? And he said, "Nah, mate, if you need to read it, I went all Australian then, didn't I? But no, mate, you need to read up if you don't know how these things work. The strangest thing is, this was just a casual event over in Warhammer World a few years ago, but we weren't kids. This was a grown man." So, so yeah, not even showing him the rule. Blatant cheating, obviously. If you don't know the rules, you better read them. Kidnap their favourite character and send them a ransom, though. That sounds like a good idea. I'll just kidnap their favourite character and step on it. I'm blessed to have multiple local stores to play at. I'm much more likely to play at the stores who are less likely to have cheaters. Cheaters hurt a store's business. That's why we have scatter dice. Exactly. But he obviously didn't know how to use them properly. It is a hard one, isn't it? And like you say, nobody wants to play a cheater. And people cheat, obviously, because they want to win. I mean, there's no other reason. So they must just feel inferior if they don't win, or they feel less worthy if they don't win. The thing is, you can lose and have more fun playing the game than if you won. I've had games like that where I played the game, I've had an awesome time, really enjoyed it, lost the game at the end, but no difference at all. I've had other games where I've played the game, everything's gone perfect, or dice rolling hot, blasted my opponent off the table, won the game, and at the end of the game, so well, yeah, that was all right, but like I've had better games. You don't have to win to enjoy the game. Now, of course, I suppose if there's more at stake, like prizes at tournaments, rather than a loss of tournament, especially in the UK, or maybe not so much now, but a few years ago, didn't really have much prize support, not like they do in America. I see all these American tournament reports, or I did a few years ago when Fritz was talking about them. He was talking about the loot that you could win there. I suppose that might inject the more possibility that people will want to win at all costs, basically cheat, be that guy. So maybe the higher the stakes, the more chance of someone of meeting dishonest people. Yeah, this is a good one. You kidnap your best guy. The best guy, I meant. Their best guy. Yeah. I heard that tournament cheaters get severe penalties, lifetime bans, for example. Yeah, that's something which has recently come into play, hasn't it? Where because now there's cameras at these events, it's a lot easier to pick up cheaters, or at least you've got to be a very good cheater. It's a bit like the casinos where they have the cameras on when they do like the fake cheaters, so they cheat but they show you what they're doing. A sleight of hand. It's pretty amazing what people can do, but you've got to be able to fool the camera, and I'm sure 40k cheaters aren't that adept at fooling a camera, so I think it's harder to cheat these days with cameras everywhere. Where's your beer? My beer is in the fridge at the moment. Yes, throw the bucket of dice on the orcs and all get sixes. I play orcs in 40k. Any day crumping is better than not, even if you get your bum kicked. Need Guinness dark beer. Is that Guinness? I love Guinness. The beer is on the screen, right? That's me. London GT. Yes. Yeah. Good to see the cheetah because the table were that bad. Oh, yeah. The terrain. Yeah. Yeah, that's the one where they had hardly any terrain and it was all unpainted, isn't it? Is that right? I seem to remember that one. How's the stream, guys? How is the new camera? Hopefully it's better than what the old one was. How's it been? Hello to Poland. We have got to try to butcher the name. Andrzej Wasilewski. Wasilewski. Yes, that was the train one and the cheetah on the top table. Yeah. So we've been going for 45 minutes. We currently have 28 people watching. Hello, everyone. And if you are new to the channel, my name is Nick. If you haven't subscribed yet, then please do so. Really appreciate it. Okay, so my piece of paper with all of my notes on, I'm going to show you, why not? There, that's my notes. Is complete. So I'm relying now on the chat. So if anyone has any questions for me, then fire away. I don't know if you noticed, but I am premiering Monday's Netcon video, and it's going up slightly later in the day. I've got Monday off, so I thought, well, as I've got the day off, why not do a premiere? So it's going to be 1 p.m. UK time on my channel, so watch out for that. I've got a very fun video. It's going to be fun. Who hasn't subbed to this legend? Quite a few people, I would imagine. Shame on non-subbers. Some people just don't sub. You know, they watch YouTube all the time. They don't sub. I have a buddy who says that YouTube are so good at recommending videos that knowing what he likes, that he doesn't have to sub anyone. He goes, right, now I go to my homepage and all the people that I watch the videos of regular, they're there in my home on my home screen. So he says I just don't sub them. You know, he said I watch channels and I watch them for like years and just don't press the sub button. And I think that can be quite true. I generally, well, I pretty much sub most people in the hobby. I've got over 1,000 subscribers. I use my subscription feed, excuse me, to keep on top of my subscribers' videos. So I don't really use the home screen. Nick, when you go on painting that light switch above that subscribe sticker, even non-HD, it looks really brown. It is brown. That's like a goldy colour. A goldy colour. Mint and choc chip, please. Can I get a milkshake with that? I never really had a problem with cheetahs so much. Just bad sports and crybabies. Yeah, as I said, apart from that one game. Hello, Frost and Frisk's comment is being hidden. For some reason. No, nothing in there. No swear words. Let's show it. Right, there you go. Yeah, apart from that one game with the bendy ruler, I've not really come across a cheetah. I did have a slight issue in a tournament that I went to where I was playing on a table, and it's all my fault because I forgot to discuss the terrain before the game. And we had these hills, I suppose you could call it, basically a raised platform of terrain to represent a hill. Now, when I play this with my buddies, these hills, if we always play, if you're on top of the hills, you're in cover. And I forgot to say, what's this? You know, is this cover? Is this? I forgot to say that basically, And turn one, I put my flayed ones on these hills, thinking, yeah, I'm all in cover. And he shoots me and says, no, that's not cover. I just ran with it because it wasn't discussed, and it was actually my first tournament I'd ever been to. But I did learn to discuss the terrain features before you play the game. We have Bazza in the house from Underdog Painting. Hello, Bazza. Bazza's on a quest to get to 1,000 subscribers. So if you haven't subscribed to him yet, then head on over, give him a sub. I think it's on 828. That's a very, that's quite an accurate guess, isn't it? Is that right, Bazza? Is it 128, 72828, 828? Peter Nicholas says, forgetting to move or shoot with a vital squad, cheating yourself. Yeah, absolutely. We have Raphael. How are you doing? Been a long time since you put any videos up. I need to know. What do you need to know? 834. There you go. So you've gained 6 subscribers since I last looked. Okay, I'm on edge waiting for Raphael to continue with his comment. He's put, I need to know. We all need to know now. We all need to know. We've got Adam Edgar who says, oh yeah, I've cheated myself out of using special rules for my death guard so many times. Yeah, I think we've all done to that. Oh, right, okay. So Raphael needs to know how to cheat. Yes, how to cheat, Nick. Thank you. Yeah, I've just seen that. So, did anyone watch this snooker by chance? Trump, world champion. It's going to happen one day, wasn't it? He's too good not to have won it. I was a bit disappointed in the final. Whilst Trump played Judd Trump, isn't it? Yeah. Thinking, am I saying his name right? Whilst he played incredibly well, I'd love to have had a much closer game. I'm not a big fan of John Higgins for various reasons, including cheating or match fixing, anyway. But yeah, I'd love to have been a much closer game. Hard to cheat in snooker. No, you can cheat in snooker quite easily. When you accidentally touch a ball, some people don't claim it. They know their hands, like they're leaning over the table and they know their hand is like on the ball and they don't say anything. Cheating, blatant cheating. You have to put your scores up manually. When you're just playing club games, you've got no referee. So you do your score and your opponent adds it up and he goes, oh, you scored 21. Then you go back to the scoreboard, you put your score on while your opponent is playing his game. So you can get a few little incorrect scores going up. I guess using more points for your army than you should be, i.e. 2,250 in 2,000 point game, is hard for the opponent to know. Yeah, absolutely. And like I said earlier, I personally never check my opponent's list. I just trust them because it's only a game. Genuine mistakes happen. We've all done that. Played with too many points or not enough points in some cases. But yeah, it is hard to know your opponent's score, points added up, especially where the points are all over the place these days, aren't they? So you've got points in the back of the book and in the FAQ and chapter approved. And now, what is the right points? Also, this game has so many different units in so many armies with so many special rules to them that sometimes you're not actually cheating, but rather confusion. Yeah, absolutely, and that's the key point that I was saying. Really, is just don't judge too quickly, because it could just be a genuine mistake. Someone's just genuinely got confused, or they haven't realised there's been updates or whatever. Yes, me, no big deal. Of uh, by sat up 20, but over that not good. A friend of mine cheated back in the days when he deep striked a bunch of Terminators scattered onto terrain. He cheated on measuring. Don't know if it was fully intentional though. Yeah, I think sometimes you try to maybe do things to give you an advantage, not necessarily real cheating, more of sort of hopefulness that your buddy doesn't quite realise that's cheating, isn't it? Yeah, if you're measuring something and it's clearly out or off the table or whatever, you've just got to run with it, haven't you? Cujo Painting says there's so many rules, it's honestly hard not to accidentally get something wrong that gives you an advantage. Yeah, absolutely. I lost my Orc Commandos on the table one time and forgot to use them until the last turn of the game. They captured an objective and won me the game. I've got a very similar story. I was playing pairs, two on two, and I was playing my Necrons, who used to phase out if you lost 75%. So as we were deploying, me and my buddy this side, my other two buddies the other side, as we were deployed one unit at a time, and I deployed a unit of warriors right behind the tomb, right in the corner of the board. And I did it quickly. And it's like when you're deploying, especially one unit at a time, you get carried away. You're thinking about, where am I going to put my next unit, while your opponents are putting down theirs. So anyway, I managed to get my Necron warriors down on the table behind this tomb. And the whole of the game, we sort of basically ignored them. And then they managed to, I worked it out that if I kept these alive, I wouldn't phase out. And yeah, they shot me, and they were looking at it and said, "Oh yeah, you're down 75%, you're gone." And it's like, "Oh no, got this other unit down here." Hello, we've got 6+ Stevo in the house. Hello, Stevo. He says, "I accidentally cheat all the time. Hate when I discover I have made mistakes, especially if I win, as it takes away from the good feeling of winning." Yeah, I totally agree. Like I was talking about earlier when I played Nick from Old Average Bit Gaming, and I got the points wrong. And as soon as I worked it out, after a comment, I think I had a comment from someone, and as soon as I worked it out, I emailed him, messaged him, and I said, "Sorry, Nick, I cheated." But it was cheating, but not on purpose. It's just accident. I know that feeling. I hate it when it happens. Yeah, yeah. I'm very paranoid now. Ever since that, with that particular game, I'm checking and double checking my lists. I don't have the Army Builder app. What's it called? Oh, the roster thing. Can't even remember what it's called now, so I don't have it. But anyway, I don't have it because my phone is pretty old and I can't get apps on it. So I've got to the point now where I actually message Nick and say, "Battle Scribe, thank you, Ice." Yeah, I messaged Nick and say, "Look, I've just made this army list. Can you put it through the Battle Scribe for me and double check it?" Because especially if I'm making videos on it, I'm going to make a video. This is my new army list, and then I've got the points all wrong or something. So I need to get Battle Scribe, but first of all, I need a new phone. Feral Strike says, not really cheating. Not really about cheating, but I used to play fantasy games, and this onlooker kid was questioning my guess range for Dwarven Grudge Thrower. I ignored him, and after hit the target, he was nice to me. I do my best to remember my rules and stats correctly, but trying to learn 3 or 4 armies, I make mistakes sometimes. I think you make mistakes even if you're only playing one army. Real cheaters are the worst. Why, oh why would you? I don't get it. If you knew that you have to cheat to win, how can you feel even remotely good about yourself? Yeah, absolutely. We had a chat earlier about an article that I found with some experimenting. And basically, they were saying that if someone plays the game to be better than someone else, there's more tendency for them to cheat because they want to be better. If they're playing the game to better themselves, to win, basically to win for themselves, then there's less chance of them cheating. Psychological stuff. Run Battlescribe on PC, laptop, and print for play. I love it. Yeah, I tried. I couldn't get it to work on my laptop either for some reason. I have to be honest, I hate the layout of Battlescribe. You know, somebody said, sometimes I get emails, you know, and they say, oh, can you check my list for me? So what do you think of my list? And they send me it on Battlescribe. And it's ridiculous. It's like, oh, I've got 3 units of Tomb Blades, for example. And like it's like pages and pages. Why can't we just have like just written down? I'll show you one of my army lists. I'm back. Hopefully, if I picked up, glad I picked it up. There we go. This is my army list. Funny enough, this is the one I played on Friday. I just listed down in Word document. HQ, Cryptic Staff of Light, 85 points. Warlord trait, artifact. Simple, easy. I can see the points, see exactly what I've got in one go. So if you ever do email me a list, don't do it in Battlescribe because I hate it. Old Army Builder is really good. Never used it. I've only ever just used Word documents, basically. I do like to win, but it's not the point of the experience. In fact, I often throw the match if I'm winning by too much because I want my friends to enjoy the game too. Absolutely, and you can lose and win. You can actually enjoy it. Sorry, you can lose and win. Well, you can lose and win, but you can lose and enjoy the game more than actually if you've won it sometimes. You know, that can happen. I use Battlescribe, but I just reformat all of the outputs that gives me through Microsoft Word into a not terrible format. Yeah, I think if I ever do that, Battlescribe, I will have to do something like that. Okay, we've got 31 people watching still after an hour, so thank you everyone for staying with me. We've been live now for an hour and 4 minutes, so I'm coming to the end. We usually go for about an hour, but if you have any last minute questions for me, then let me know. I really enjoyed our game, Nick, even though I lost. That's good to hear, Steve. I enjoyed it too. I don't mind losing as long as there's done narrative drama. Being tabled on turn 2 is rubbish. Yeah, absolutely. I mean, the best games, let's face it, the best games are the ones that are to the wire, almost last dice roll games. I mean, one of the most fun games I ever had was with Ace Face, and we were playing. Well, it's actually Horus Heresy, but effectively it was 7th edition, and it was literally on the last dice roll. Ace had to roll a 2 or more, and it would be a draw. And if he rolled a 1, his character would have died, and I would have got Slay the Warlord, and I would have won. He rolled the dice, and he rolled a 1. I loved it. But no, those games are the best ones, aren't they? And Usually, also, if they're that close, the result doesn't matter. You know, I think it's like any game as well. So going back to snooker, because that's the main second game that I play. If I go down the snooker club, play a game, what matters to me the most, rather than winning or losing the game, is playing well. And I can go down and I can play terrible and win the game and not enjoy it. I can go down and I can play really well but lose, but I'm still happy because I played well. Can we get these 31 amazing people to smash the like button? I'm hoping so. We've got 26 likes, so a few more would be good. When does Star Trek get good? Been watching Enterprise, going through Discovery now. Can't believe you just said that. When will you finally drink on a live stream? Cheers. I'm drinking. I've got water. I've got coffee. How do you like the new Games Workshop paints? They seem good. They're not quite what I thought. I did have an idea that they would be a form of wash, but I was thinking a form of wash that give you highlights. So basically, this is a base coat and a shade all in one. I'll be very interested to try them out. I doubt I will be changing my paint style though, personally, but yeah, I'll probably give it a go. So yeah, lots of releases actually, wasn't there, this weekend? The thing that excited me the most, which I was quite surprised about, was the Chaos Knight Codex. I suppose is where I'm painting my Emperor's Children army. The Chaos Knight. Oh, pardon me. One of those Chaos Knights looks like it's got a Necron head. Is it me? Is it? It looks like a Necron head to me. Turning 30 this year. Are you? Beer drinks beer. The Chaos Knights are awesome. Yes, I agree. Oh yeah, now I have to paint one Chaos Knight. Yeah, I think my Emperor's Children need a Chaos Knight, surely. Any excuse. The lots of releases was due to Warhammer Fest being this weekend. Yes, Warhammer Fest, I think, is correct. I wonder how many Funko Pops they sold. I saw the picture, they're lining them up, like thousands of them. Do a poll to see who wants you to drink on the next live stream. Actually, before I started these live streams, I was thinking of live streaming, obviously, and I came up with this little idea. I was going to do like an after hours, like almost like one of those late night radio shows. I was going to have the lights off, have it all dark, and I was going to drink a beer in the middle of the night and just do like a late night show where I talk really deep and it's all slow. But now I abandoned that idea. Funko Pops needs to happen. Yeah, Necron ones. Funko Pops, boo. Yeah, I've only got one Funko Pop, but that was given to me. I've got a Mr. Spock Mirror Universe. It looks pretty cool. I don't take him out of the box. See you later, Robert. Well, and then Necron Girl come in. Yeah, she's not here tonight, but she's definitely interested in doing another live stream with me. So probably during the next holiday. I have an Alien Funko Pop. I thought the Funko Pops were Necrons. There's not any Necron ones, not yet. I like the little Funko Pops. I want one. Which one do you want? I know this is gonna sound weird. Out of the 4 which are currently available, I like the Blood Angels one. I think it's the best one of the 4. Can't wait for an orc action figure. Starting Necron army soon. Shooty heavy or melee? You're definitely going to want some shooting. I would start with shooting and then concentrate on that first and then add in some melee. I bet Necron Girl loves Funko Pops. No, she's not really into Funko Pops, to be fair. She likes, at the moment, because obviously it all changes, it used to be My Little Pony. She got all the toys. She went through a stage of mermaids. She's into mermaids. But no, Funko Pops, she hasn't shown an interest in them, except, well, to tell a lie, it's not so much the Funko Pops, it's more that she's a huge Flash fan, because we watched obviously the Flash. We've just about finished watching season 5. I think season 5 is the current one. So whenever she sees anything Flash, she wants it. So she has seen a Funko Pop Flash, but I don't think she'd want to just put it on the shelf. She'd want to get it out of the box and play with it. I'm going to paint my Assault Funko Pops as my own Marines. Yeah, I saw, who was it? I think it was, can't remember. Was it Orc Painting Nerd? He had a video of one being painted. I assume, well, I suppose from a collecting point of view, it would totally devalue them, wouldn't it? But are they going to be valuable? Don't think so. Flash. Beaky helmets. What are your thoughts about the aerial battle flyers game that was teased? Don't think I know that. Don't think I've heard of that. Yes, Orc Painting Nerd. Yes, that was it. The film Flash Gordon. She hasn't seen the original Flash Gordon film. No, we're talking about as in the Flash from the DC comics. I keep my Funko Pops. There is what I make it. They're worth what I make it. Yeah. Okay, so I think we're going to come to the end of the stream. Tomorrow, keep an eye out on my community tab. I'm going to be posting something on there where I'm going to be looking for your comments. So yeah, keep an eye out for that. Got some exciting stuff coming up, including an Anrakur battle report, a Necron pylon list battle report. So 2 battle reports coming up, and then I've got other stuff. So keep watching. Right. So yeah, that is it. Thank you everyone for tuning in. I really appreciate it, and I'll see you in the next video. Beam me up.